Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome back to our free tutorials on the internet in order to cover past paper questions biology 610 IGCSE students. Today we are going to cover paper 41. This is winter 2019. In the last video we did cover paper 3, which was a core. Today we have to cover paper 4, which is extended. Time of the exam is 1 hour 15 minutes. Let's move to the first question. It reads, all living organisms are placed into groups according to their features. That's what you call classification. Meiopods are one of the main groups of arthropods. State two features of meiopods that can be used to distinguish them from other arthropods. So I cannot use any of the characteristics which are common among arthropods. I should use unique characteristic which exist only in meiopods. As you know that meiopods do have many body segments, more than any other arthropods. As on every segment there is at least one pair of legs, so you can say that they have many jointed legs or many legs. We move to the next part. Figure 1.1 shows that there are four main groups of arthropods. They are group 1 meiopods, which he gave a name, group 2, group 3, group 4. The question is, state the name of two other groups of arthropods in the figure 1.1 rather than meiopods. You have arachnids, you have insects, you also have crustaceans. I deduce two of them. You can choose the ones you like. Meiopods are differentiated into the ones with no eyes, the ones with eyes. Okay? On this diagram. So meiopods can be classified into four classes, 1, 2, 3, 4. The figure is a dichotomous scale. Okay, and he's classifying meiopods into 1, 2, 3, 4 classes. According to what? According to having eyes or not, according to have hair or not, one leg on each side of every segment, or two legs on every side each body segment. Okay. Let's figure out first who do have eyes, who don't have eyes. Okay, and then we move to the hair, yes or no. These are the examples we are going to use to classify. In order to make you understand what we are talking about, I will make some kind of focus on this diagram. First of all, who doesn't have an eye? Let's say on the head there is no eye. The eye is a black spot. This one does have an eye. This one doesn't have an eye. M does have an eye. N does have an eye. Last O does have an eye as well. Okay. Now let's come to the hair on the body. Only J does have a hair on the body. Only J does have some hair on the body. Okay. Regarding the number of legs on each side, you can count the number of body segments and you can count the legs on one side. Compare the two sets, the set of body segment and the set of legs on each side. You will figure out how many legs on each side of every segment. For example, in K, this is very clear that we have two legs each side of every segment. In L, we do have one leg on each side. In M, we do have one leg on each side. In N, we have two legs on each side. In O, we have two legs on each side, and so on. Okay? Now, let's go back to the question. And the question reads, complete the table 1.1 by using the key in the figure 1.2 to classify the 6 meiopods in the figure 1.3. What is group number 1? Group number 1 is the group of meiopods that don't have eyes Same time they have hairs on the body segments, which is J. So J don't have eyes. We did say that both J and L don't have eyes, but only J does have hair on the body. That's why answer of the first row is J. Very good. What about the second group? What about the second group? Second group is the ones with no eyes and no hair on the body. No eyes, no hair on the body. This is L. L, no eyes here and no hair on the body either. So, answer of this one is L. Very good. What is the third group? The third group is, or group number 3, is the ones with the eyes and one leg on each side. Again, eyes, one leg. They have eyes, and in the same time, they have one leg in each side. K do have eyes, but 2 legs on each side. M, they have eyes, one leg each side. So this is a good answer. N, yes, they do have eyes, but 2 legs, on each side. O, yes, they do have eyes, but they have 2 legs on each side. That's why answer of this part is M. Okay, let's go to the last group, or group number 4, is the ones which do have eyes. They have 2 legs on each side, as we did mention. These are more than one example. They are K, and they are O as well. Any of them could be a good answer. Any of them could be a good answer. Part D, the figure 1.4, is a photograph of the myriapode, which is called Aphiloria virginiensis. State the genus name and the kingdom name for the myriapode shown in the figure. In order to write the genus name, I should write it either underlined or italic. As this is difficult for you to write it in italic, you need to start with a capital letter. So, as a genus, start with a capital letter, and its name is Aphiloria. Aphiloria. Again, as this is a scientific name or a part of a scientific name, you need to make it correct, underlined. Excellent. The kingdom it does belong to is the kingdom of animals, or Animalia. Both are correct. I don't need this name to be underlined. That species, or Aphiloria, releases the poison cyanide when it's attacked by a predator. Cyanide stops enzymes in the mitochondria from functioning, suggest why cells die if the mitochondria don't function. Simply, there would be no aerobic respiration. So if the enzymes in the mitochondria stop working, what does it mean? It means that there would be no aerobic respiration, or you can say no release energy. This is correct. It's the end of question number 1. Let's proceed to question 2 swiftly. Welcome back with question number 2. Phloem is used to transport sucrose, amino acid in the plants. Sucrose is a carbohydrate. Describe the uses of carbohydrates. General question about carbohydrates and amino acids in the plants. Let's start with carbohydrate first. Carbohydrates. You all remember what we did explain about fates of glucose in the plant. Glucose is used in many kinds of uses. For example, cellulose is to make cell wall. What else? What else? Starch is a store of energy. Okay, very good. Very good. An energy store. Excellent. When we go to amino acids, in what way are amino acids used in the plant? Amino acids are used to make proteins like enzymes, for example, correct? So it's used to make enzymes. Also, proteins help make cell membrane, so help growth and cell division. Those are good uses of amino acid in the plant. You may think about different ideas. The figure 2.1 shows a diagram of a plant. The arrow point to a circle containing magnified cross-section of those parts of the plant. So I have taken different sections in different parts of the plant, from the leaf, from the root, and from the stem as well. The question read, label the position of the phloem each of 3 magnified section, figure 2.1. Use the label line and the letter P for the section. So letter P stands for phloem. Correct. Very good. In the leaf, for example, the phloem is always at the lower side of the vascular bundle. So I can point to this part and label it P. Okay. What about the stem? The phloem is at the outside. Okay, very good. Very good. What about here in the root? It's between the arms or the peaks of the star. Right now, I will label them. So this is P. This is P. And this is P as well. These are the places where you can find the phloem in different plant parts. Again, between the arms of the star in the root to the outside of the vascular bundle, lower side of the vascular bundle of the leaf. Very good. Let's move to the next part. It reads that aphids are used by investigators to discover how plant transports sucrose. The figure 2.2 shows an aphid with mouth parts inserted into a plant stem to feed on liquid in the phloem. Very good. A plant was put in dark cupboard for several days. 4 aphids A, B, C, D were then placed on the plant in the dark cupboard as shown in the figure 2.3. So I have an aphid here, there, here, and there. Anyways, immediately after the aphids were placed on the plant, it was observed that all the aphids ingested the same volume of the liquid from the phloem. Aphid D ingested the highest concentration of sucrose. Let's get back to see where is aphid D. FAD is before the branch of the leaves. It's on the stem. Very good. Explain why FAD ingested the highest concentration of sucrose. You can see that the position of the FAD was on the stem. Actually, in this case, as the plant is in the dark, it is not photosynthesizing. The leaves will not be the source anymore. They will be the sink. Who is the source? It will be the tubers and the root. So you can say that sucrose will move from the root up through the stem to the leaves. So the first aphid which will catch her share, which will collect her food, is aphid D. It's existing before the branching of the leaves. That's why it collects the most amount, the highest concentration of sucrose. Same volume, but higher concentration. So you can say that higher concentration of sucrose is in the stem, or you can say that roots, tubers, or better to write tubers directly, are the source, or the leaves are the sink. This is why, because the plant is no longer photosynthesizing. Very good. As it's in the dark, you can say that the plant is in the dark. That's why he's no longer photosynthesizing. So the plant is using starch store, which is available in the tubers. This is a full answer. So let's move to the next. Many crop farmers try to prevent insects such as aphids from damaging their plants. Describe how modern technology is used to reduce damage to crops or to crop plants by insects. We can insert some gene in the plant in order to be resistant. Okay, that's what you call genetic engineering. So genetic engineering to transfer a resistance gene to the plants, to the crop I do plant. You may ask, you may wonder, where should I find this gene? Such a gene is available in other plants which are similar to my crop. I call them wild ones. Okay? Very good. I will need to refer to insecticides. Insecticides would be a good methodology or method to avoid the harm or the damage I can collect from those insects. I can use biological control as well, which is introducing the natural enemy. As you know that for every insect there is a natural enemy to eat, to grow on, to feed on. Okay, those are three good ideas to answer the question. Other insects are useful to crop farms. Give one example of how insects are useful. I think that some insects are useful in the process of pollination. So some insects are pollinators. This is very good. End of question number 2. We'll move swiftly to question number 3. My dear students, we'll come back with the question number 3. Explain the purpose of excretion. Actually, it's the same as definition of excretion. It's to remove waste products of metabolism and substance in excess out of the body. Out of the body. Again, excretion purpose is to remove waste products of metabolism and substance in excess outside the body. Sketch a simple diagram of the human kidney and its ureter. Label the cortex, medulla, ureter on your diagram. I'm not asking you for drawing a piece of art, just a simple diagram. So it will be a very good idea to make one large, clear diagram that shows the different parts he did ask about. This will be more than enough. And then you need to show the different parts of the kidney. They are cortex and the medulla. So right now we will label. I will need to use lines to label the different parts, just like that. And then I will write my labels. This is the cortex, and this is the medulla. Right here I have the ureter. This is more than enough. About part C, the figure 3.1 is a photomicrograph, meaning a real picture of glomerulus in the kidney. You may refer to the figure 3.1 in your answer to describe the structure of the glomerulus. Describe means tell me what you see. Don't make any expectations or any assumptions or any explanations either. You just need to describe what you can see here. So I can see a tangle of capillaries. This is very, very clear. Okay. These capillaries are having thin walls. There are pores on the walls of the glomerulus. Okay. Those are enough pieces of information to describe it. Describe the role of the glomerulus. The role of the glomerulus is ultrafiltration of the plasma. They do filtrate the plasma. Okay? Okay. They will allow small molecules pass through to the cup-shaped structure, and they will not allow red blood cells and proteins will not be allowed pass through, as they are too big. So small molecules which you can pass through, they are like glucose, for example, water and minerals. That's it. Part II, scientists stated a hypothesis Human and mice reabsorb salt most of the same rate. Relation to the size of their kidney. Determine whether the data on table 3.1 support the hypothesis. Show your working. What is the table? The table must be on the page before. So question D, table 3.1 shows some comparisons between human and mouse. On the left side column, I have features of the body mass in kilogram, the kidney mass in kilogram, or in gram, sorry, water intake in decimeter cube, and we did explain before that decimeter cube mean 1 liter per day. Water reabsorption in liter per day, and salt filtration rate, gram per day. Salt reabsorption gram per day as well. The table 3.1 shows that salts are reabsorbed in the kidney. Both human and mice describe how the salt are reabsorbed against the concentration gradient. We were about to miss that part of the question. You can say that salts are absorbed against concentration gradient by active transport. You can say that this is by the help of some energy. This energy is released in mitochondria during respiration. Correct. Very good. So again, this is done by active transport, and this is done by the help of energy, and this energy is released from mitochondria, and this is done during respiration. You need to add that this is done from low concentration to higher concentration. Okay, and this is against concentration gradient, against you can add as well that this needs some kind of protein pump in the cell membrane. So this is done through protein pump in the cell membrane. Very good. Again, scientists stated a hypothesis. They hypothesized that the humans and the mice absorb salt at almost the same rate in relation to their size of their kidney. Means if I divide the amount of salt they do absorb by the size of the kidney, I find it the same in the human and in the mouse as well. Let's find in the human how much salt they do absorb. Salt filtration, salt reabsorption, 575 gram per day. Very good. And in the same time, the kidney mass is 320 gram. So if I divide 575 divided 320, I will find it the same proportion as it in the mouse. Let's calculate for the human first. For the human, the amount, the mass of salt to be absorbed is 575 gram. Okay, so you can say gram. It will be divided by 320 gram for the mass of the kidney, and it will equal 1.797, which is almost 1.8 gram. 8 gram of salt, okay, per day per 1 gram of kidney. This is a full answer, more than full answer. Let's go to the mouse. Let's see how much salt they do absorb or reabsorb. 551, and the mass of the kidney is 0.31. So we do the math for the mouse as well. We are going to divide the amount of salt he does absorb, which is 0.551. It will be divided 0.31, which is the mass of the kidney, and we will get 1.778 or 778, which is equal 1.8. It means that it's not the amount, but the rate of the absorption of salts or reabsorption of the salts compared to the mass of the kidney is the same in both the mouse and the human. It's the same. So I can figure out that I have two similar rates, similar or the same results. Okay, so you can say that the hypothesis is correct. So the hypothesis is correct, as we got same results in both human and mouse. The table 3.1 also shows that the water is reabsorbed in kidneys of both human and mice. State the name of the process that mammals use to reabsorb water. Water moves by osmosis. Reabsorption or not, this is the one way that water can move. Water and salts are reabsorbed in the kidney. State the name of the other molecules that also reabsorbed in the kidney. Glucose would be a good idea. If not absorbed, this is called diabetes. Welcome back, and now we are doing question 4. A reads that the body defenses mechanisms. The body has defense mechanisms to protect it from infections. Outline the body's defense mechanisms. You have 3 levels of defense mechanisms. We have mechanical barriers, skin is the most famous one, is a mechanical barrier that keeps microbes outside the body. You can say that hairs in the nose filter microbes and dust. Second type of, or second level, is chemical barrier. The 2 examples are acids in the stomach kill microbes that you may swallow with the food. You can say that tears in the eyes kill microbes which are in contact with the eye. And now we come to one more level. Now we have active immunity. In the blood, you have let's say memory cells. Okay, you have two types of white blood cells. They are lymphocytes and phagocytes. So phagocytes, for example, Gulf microbes and digest them. You have lymphocytes which produce antibodies. You can say that antibodies recognize antigens on the surface of pathogens. I think that this is more than enough. This is a full answer. State the name of a type of drug that can be used to treat bacterial infection. Antibiotics will be a good answer. End of the question. Let's move to the next one swiftly. Welcome back, and we are doing question 5 right now. The question reads 5.1 shows an angiogram of the heart before and after treatment for coronary heart disease, CHD. An angiogram is an image, the blood flow through the blood vessels of the heart. I can see two of them, one before the treatment, one after the treatment, and there is an arrow pointing to this position. You can see that right here the blood vessel is not dark enough, just like the part before the arrow, while on the right side I can see that the whole blood vessel is dark. What does it mean? It means that treatment allowed the blood to flow through this blood vessel, through the whole blood vessel. Okay, the arrow on the figure shows the position of blockage in the blood vessel. State the name of the blockage or the blocked blood vessel. What's the name of the blood vessel itself? This is a coronary artery. The blockage is caused by blood clot. Describe how blood clot form. The cells which are responsible for the blood clot, or the cell parts, they are platelets. They produce clotting factors, which we don't need to know about in details. Okay, where do they produce them? In the plasma. When? Every day? Nope. When they contact a rough surface. Okay, then what happens? Then a liquid protein in the blood, which is fibrinogen, change into solid protein, which is fibrin. Then a mesh of fibers or of protein fibers is formed, and then red blood cells are trapped. This is how a blood clot may form. State the name of the drug that can be used to treat coronary heart disease. This is aspirin, because he will decrease the rate at which the fibrinogen change from liquid form into solid form. Thank you for watching this. We will move to the next question swiftly. Part B. Many health specialists think that the risk of coronary heart disease can be reduced by doing regular exercise. A long-term study of large group of women, please underline women, was used to test this hypothesis. The women were aging between 35 and 45 years old at the start of the study. Please underline this age range. Every 2 years, the same group of women were asked how much they were exercising. After 28 years, it's a long-term study, researchers analyzed their data. They calculated the average time spent exercising per week by each woman. They put the women into categories determined by how much exercise they had done. For each category, they calculated the number of women who died from coronary heart disease, CHD, and the results are shown on the on the figure 5.2. I have x-axis that stands for exercise hours per week and y-axis that stands for number of CHD death per 10,000 women. I can find that those who didn't take any exercise, they have the tallest column, and the ones who are taking between 4.1 and 10 hours of exercise per week are the ones who do have the shortest column. And the question reads, calculate the percentage and decrease, not only decrease, percentage decrease, and the number of CHD death per 10,000 women between those who did no exercise and those who exercised for 4.1 up to 10, mean between the tallest bar and the shortest bar, hours. Number of CHD death per 10,000 women who did no exercise are, means this one. How do you read this? Between 1.8 and 2, mean the difference between them is 0.2. The difference between them is 0.2. And this difference is classified into 5 sections. Okay? So, how to read this? This is 1.88. Okay? Again, this is 1.88. Number of CHD death per 10,000 women who did 4.1 up to 10 hours per week for exercise, means the shortest one. This one. How to read this? How much is this? This is 0.04. So what I need to write here is 0.04. Correct. Give your answer to the nearest whole number. I don't need to find a difference between them or the decrease. It will be easy. But I will need to find the percentage. The percentage means 1.88 in the first column minus 0.04 in the second column. Okay. After you do subtract, you collect the difference. Okay, Shabab? Okay. So I can say that the difference or the decrease, better to say the decrease, equal. The decrease equal. And right here, I will write how much is the decrease. Okay, you can do the math, you can give a hand, it will be 1 point, correct, 84. Very good, very good. Now to the second step, which is the percentage. 1.84, I will divide it by the number I did start with, which is 1.88, okay, and I will multiply by 100 because this is a percentage. Equal how much? Equal almost 98%. So the answer will be 98%. Thank you for the help. I, health professionals wanted to use the results of this study to encourage the whole population to make more exercise. Discuss the arguments for and against health professionals using this study in this way. use the information about how the study was designed and the results, the figure 5.2, and your argument. So to answer this question again, you need to mention some points which agree with the hypothesis or the results you collected from this investigation. Some should be against. So I can say argument 4, which are the ones which agree with the purpose and the methodology and the results that we came up with, like, for example, that the exercise increased or increase caused the CHD, coronary heart disease, rate or number to decrease. This is good. You can use some comparative data code, like we have rate of 1.88 in case of no exercise and 0.04 in case of no yes it is, exercise. So 1.88 in case of no exercise, 0.04 in case of exercise. Very good. You can say that you collect a benefit from the exercise even though you are not to be protected from CHD. So it will not harm you. So even though you are not protected from CHD, still the exercise will not harm you. But better to say that we used same group of human individual, of women. Okay. Now we will talk about the argument against. There are some factors which we did already talk about when we were reading the heading of the question. We said we used only women. Okay. I did use a particular age range between 35 and 34. No one is older or younger than the age range used between 35 and 45. Very good. These are good points to argue with or argue against. You can also say that rate of death with the disease or the CHD is still too small, okay, to exercise, for example, or very small, better to say very small, even though no exercise is taken. So even though you don't take an exercise, or the sample was not taking an exercise, still the rate of death with the CHD at a very low rate. Part C, exercise causes heart rate to increase, and this makes sense. Explain why exercise causes an increase in the heart rate. You need more blood is needed to reach muscles. What for? For muscle to get enough oxygen and glucose, okay, to carry out faster respiration, and release more energy to contract faster. Very good. Very good. Okay. You need more aerobic respiration and avoid anaerobic one. Need to avoid buildup of lactic acid in the muscles. Correct. End of the question. Move to the next swiftly. We proceed to question number 6. Fish are an important part of the balanced diet. Many people. Fish are a good source of vitamin D. State one effect of diet that is deficient in vitamin D. If you are deficient in vitamin D, you will have weak bones. Okay? You have weak teeth as well. There would be poor absorption of calcium in the small intestine. Now we go to part B. Many fish stock have declined. Marine ecologists considered that three topics shown in the figure 6.1 when they discussed the decline of fish. So those are three main ideas, like reasons why fish species become endangered, methods of maintaining fish stock, and risk to a fish species when population size decrease. Describe the key point, each of the 3 points. First of all, let's discuss reasons. Reasons why endangered. Why are fish endangered? Pollution could be a good answer. Introducing new species, which will have competition with the native animals that compete with native animals. Overhunting would be a good reason. And we move to the second idea, which is risk on or if population number drop. Extinction would be a key word. Correct. Reduced variation will be a good result as well. Third and last, we need to move to how to maintain fish stock. What do you think? How to maintain the fish stock? I can use restocking. I can use the fish farm. I can use what we call education. I mean, I teach people who hunt fish or go fishing that you need to use some kind of nets. Okay? So education would be good. And if there are some very rare species, I need to tell people that it's forbidden. So issuing some kinds of laws and make them very strict, use some wardens would be a good idea as well. I can use some kind of protected area. Very good. So now I did cover the 3 points. Reasons why endangered, risk if the population drop, and how to maintain. This is the end of the question, and swiftly we move to the last one. Question 7 reads that the figure 7.1 shows part of the nitrogen cycle. State 2 ways that nitrogen fixation can occur. Lightning will cause nitrogen to combine with the oxygen in order to make nitrogen oxides, which dissolve in water and make you nitrites, then nitrates. So lightning is a good reason. There are some bacteria which I can find on the roots of some plants. They are called nitrogen fixing bacteria. That's what you call nodular bacteria. Again, nodular bacteria due to their shape. Next, state the name of the process A and B. What are A and B? Process A is the change from nitrate ions in the soil into nitrogen in the atmosphere. This is done by denitrification. Denitrification by the denitrifying bacteria. What is B? B is the process that changes compound X into nitrate ions. Whose X? X is a nitrite. X is a nitrite. Could be ammonia, but it will change into nitrate ion. That's what you call nitrification. So this is the opposite of the last process. State the name of the complex X. Who is X? Plant and animal waste will change into X. So make sense that X is either ammonia or ammonium. So this is ammonia. Define the term deamination. Deamination is the removal of amino group from whom? From an amino acid, okay, or the nitrogen containing part from amino acid. Very good. Why? To make urea. So this is the process of deamination. When you remove the amino group or the nitrogen containing part, then you cause ammonia to form. This is what we call deamination. State the name of the structure in the cell where protein synthesis occur. Protein synthesis occur at the ribosome. Say the name of the enzyme that digests protein. You can say protease. This is a general name, or you can give a particular name like, for example, pepsin would be a good example. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully it was useful for you. Stay home, stay safe. See you. Best of luck. Thanks again. Bye-bye. See you.